Happy Air Max Day, everyone. In honor of the upcoming Air Max 90 release, I'm dedicating this video to the past infrared drops. Starting off with the Air Max 90 OG, also known as the Vintage. This is actually my first pair of infrareds, and these were released on January 12th, 2013. I actually got this from a plug, and the retail price for these were 120. And as you can see, the box is the brown sportswear box. The colorway for this is sail, cool gray, medium gray, infrared. Here's the next pair that I got, the Nike Air Max 90 OG as well. And these were released on May 28, 2015. And the colorway for this is white, cool gray, neutral gray, black. And the retail price of this is 120 as well. And this comes in the orange box. In the most recent release, the Air Max 3. And this was released on November 9th, 2020. And this comes in the old school vintage box. They mentioned that this box would be the original box that it came with, which is pretty cool. I will say it's pretty big. This box is actually huge, pretty long. And the colors that says is white, black, cool gray. And the retail price for these is 140 bucks. So let's just check out the inside. So to bring them out. For each of these sneakers, there's no shoe tree or shoe inserts for these. They're just regular stuff paper. So I want to show you. This is actually the pair I didn't get a chance to wear yet. They're just regular paper inside. Each of them have that. Starting off with the tongue for the vintage release. It has some sort of nylon texture to it. And the tongue label, just a regular Nike Air Max label. That's made of cotton. Each of them are very similar, although the one that was released in 2015, the tongue top, is made of pretty much this similar material, some sort of nylon, and the label says Nike in infrared color, but the Air Max text is actually in black compared to the 2013, which is all infrared. And for the 2020 release, the tongue material is also nylon, white nylon. They all feel kind of the same, similar to the 2015 label. The Air Max is also in black. Nike and the Nike swoosh sign is in infrared. Now, for the tongue foam, cushion-wise, I would say the latest, the 2021, is the thickest of all the releases. And in order of the thickness of the foam, this would be the most, second most, and there's still a good amount of foam on the 2013 release, just not as much as the one that dropped in 2020. And the lining, the collar lining, is actually infrared color. The one in 2020, the collar lining is actually white and it's made of a cotton material. In 2020, collar lining is infrared as well. Each one has this unique label to it. The 2013, 2015 sizing label is similar. The one in 2020 label, I guess they're all ironed on, but it looks different. I think this is giving it the vintage look, what it looked like when it released in the 90s. It's nice to get a replica of what it was like to have a pair in the 90s. And starting off with the top, the top eye stay is made of black rubber, similar to all the rest of them. They all seem to have the same eye stay. The laces are all white. The midfoot is made of gray suede for the 2013. They all seem to be gray suede, but I do want to mention the 2013 release. Their gray seems to be slightly darker. They all seem to be similar. They all have similar accents, just the gray suede that they got. But also I do want to mention the infrared on the accent, the infrared on the eye stay. The 2020 release seems to be brighter. The 2015 seems to be dull, and the 2013 seems to be somewhat dull as well. It could be the aging why it seems a little dull, but the 2020 has a little bit more of a pop to it. The swoosh sign, 2013, they all seem to be very close in color. I'm trying to compare it. Although the 2020, the swoosh sign is a little bit lighter, but it's also fuzzier. The suede is a bit fuzzier. And like I said, this could be because it's aged, why it's not as fuzzy, but it is suede. Also for the toe, the vamp, they all seem to be similar. I will say as the years go by, technology gets better. So obviously the newer one is just going to have the latest technology. Air ventilation is probably better, but I do want to say that each of these sneakers, well, I didn't try this one on the 2013, 2015. These two pairs, the air ventilation is great. So I could just imagine the newer one being even better, just because technology is always getting better. And the leather on the sides, one thing I did notice is that the 2020, the leather side mudguard, the 2021 is smaller. Like I said, it could be a technology thing, just making it more lightweight, not too sure. But the 2013, the side mudguard leather is bigger than the rest of them. So it seems like the side mudguard got smaller as the years went on. I could be because for making it more lightweight, not too sure. But the feeling of the leather, the one in 2013 is very soft. Very soft. Yeah, it's very soft. And the mudguard, the suede on all of them is nice. Like I said, the older one's probably just worn out. I wore them a lot. Now comparing the collar, the heel for each one, the logo on the heel, they all have similar vibes to it, very similar. Colors, the 2013, 2015, the colors seem to be a little bit more dull. And I'm just gonna guess because they are older, that's why maybe the color just got more dull. So the collar lining on the 2013 is medium gray, which is nice. 2015 is white, and the 2020, the collar lining is cool gray. I'm glad they stuck to the gray collar lining on the 2020 release, which I really like just because if it's white, white could get dirty more easily. Other than that, everything is pretty similar. Just making sure they all seem to be the same. From comparing the logo, it seems like the logo on the 2020 got a little bit smaller. Like I said, they probably just want to make it a little bit more tight. Haven't worn these yet, so I'm not too sure. The insole for each one has the infrared colorway, but the difference is that the 2020, the logo print inside is actually white. The other two are black. One thing that's interesting is that the labels on different sides, like they're on opposite sides. If you look at it, that's another difference. And the bottoms. One great feature about this, the 2013 has that vintage look. So there is some yellowing, the sail color, which is great just because I feel like it makes it stand out, gives it that vintage look. The one 2020, well, obviously it's dirtier because I wore this a lot. It's just regular white with the infrared colorway on the air bubble. And same thing with the 2020. The midsole is white with the infrared colorway near the airbag, which has a little bit more of a pop just because, like I said, it could be because it's just newer and everything else is dull. And for the airbag for each, they are pretty much the same, just clear for all three of them, white interior. And then for the bottom, they all seem to be pretty similar. Obviously, the newer one is just newer. Also, one thing that was pretty cool about the 2013 on the bottom is that I guess some of the sail color was kind of mixed in with it. So if you see carefully, there's like residue of the sail color, which is interesting. I liked it. I like it. And if you check out the outsole on the bottom, the outsole tip, they're all infrared and they all seem to be similar. So out of all three of them, my favorite is actually the one, my first pair. And then I could be biased because this was my first pair. I got these in 2013. I'm not sure. I just like the way it looks. I like the gray collar lining. And another thing is I got the most compliments on these kicks, the most compliments. So that's another thing. I don't know. I could be biased about that as well because I got so many compliments on these sneakers. But this one was my favorite. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments below if anyone got a pair of these or if you can get the latest upcoming pair. And again, happy Air Max Day, everyone.